What's up, guys? It's Motoco here, and in this video I want to dissect a 2-star free fight for you. And the reason I want to do this is because there's a lot of information going around right now about how people should play, what roles they should do, and this and that, and all this nonsense about multiplayer. Look, honestly, like, if you're getting the fight down in a timely manner and you're farming your skill seeds efficiently, that's really the most important part of the doing this of the multiplayer. It gives you a platform that you previously did not have in the game, that does not rely on energy. Okay, you can farm this as much as you possibly want. You can farm skill seeds until the cows come home. I don't think I've stopped farming. I've been farming pretty much all day. It's pretty ridiculous. But anyways, um, so let's get into this, man. The breaker roll, you're kind of I equate the breaker roll to somebody who is like a chess master. Okay, you're supposed to be thinking 2 to 3 turns ahead almost at all times, and your primary focus is to drive the pace of the fight, and dictate when you break to the party, so that way you guys can be as set up as possible for the break and do the most damage that you can during the break and potentially end the fight in one break. That's the goal. That's where you should be thinking, trying to end the fight in one break, especially with a black mage or a regular any type of mage in your party. They do so much damage that you do have that potential. So let's get into this first turn, okay? This is a pretty important turn, and I want a lot of people to see this because there's a lot of information out there that is saying, oh, well, the white mage should drive on the first turn, or that's all the white mage should do. They should be driving at all times. All their actions should be spent driving and getting heart orbs and blah 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 blah. No, that's not right. I'm sorry, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. The white mage, when it has the opportunity to use normal attacks to help get orbs, should be doing it. And in the first turn of the game, when you have no hard orbs, basically you have nothing, okay, then why not help the party get something? And then the next turn is when you start doing all of your normal routine and everything like that, okay? Um, I first experienced this in a fight with a different white mage a couple of days ago, and I have to say I adopted it myself. And every time that I do it this way, the fights go so much smoother. They just do. It allows the breaker to save turns, save actions. It allows the attacker to save turns, save action, and it allows the defender a little bit more flexibility in their first turn as well. Um, so what's going on here? Something that you're going to notice, and this was at first it was a little odd to me what was going on, but then I figured it out. The knight is actually attacking the boss here. You would think that that's a mistake, but it's actually not. What he's doing is he's provoking the boss to attack him. And the way he's doing that is he's applying damage to the boss. If you apply damage to the boss is going to attack the person who has done the most damage to it, okay? Or it considers the biggest threat. I'm not exactly sure how the threat meter works, but I do know if you hit the boss, it will attack you at the very start. So that's what he's doing. He's actually putting some damage on the boss so that the boss shows more interest in him. Um, and that's good. That's what he's supposed to be doing as a defender class. Now, there is an argument to say that he should attack Guardian A and help with the red gauge, but as an assassin, I can pretty much break the red gauge in either 2 or 3 hits, um, depending on where it is exactly. So I don't really need any help. Okay. All right. So the white mage puts in 2 attacks and then starts his drives. Okay, he has 4 actions because he has a special card equipped that allows him to get an extra action for his first turn, which is good. The knight puts in a bunch of normal attacks, um, also to help with orbs, and I put in 1 normal attack. Now, 6 normal attacks is enough to fill anybody's break gauge from completely empty. Okay, so 6 normal attacks in the first round is pretty much all you need to do. Any more action than that, and you're just kind of wasting your actions. Okay, it's going to be orb overdraw. All right, so we're going to prosecute this first turn here. I know there's a lot of preamble to this, and I apologize, but we're going to get into this. All right, so the black mage eliminates the orange bar. The white mage kind of pokes and helps get down the red bar. And then I do the last poke, and now you're going to notice that the red bar for the guardian is at half. Okay? It's very important because that's within 2 strike distance for an assassin with an end spell up. Now, if you're going to notice here, I have 2 actions, and that if I use 2 actions my next turn, which is I'll have 5 actions, and if I use 2, then I'll have 3, right? So the third turn is when I'm going to have a full 6 actions to be able to use however I see fit, depending on what the party is doing and what the orb situation was, and exactly how they prosecute this second turn. Now, I will say this, the black mage probably overdid it here a little bit, but I think what he wanted to do was go ahead and just evacuate some of his orbs so that the knight could replenish them, okay? But also, you're going to notice here that the white mage, he does his buff, and then he helps regenerate the orbs for the party, okay? So he's still doing his job. Okay, so I put in my 2 attacks to break, and then I save the rest. The white mage helps out with a little bit of damage here. And the black mage finishes off the guardian. Now, you're going to notice that the damage to the orange bar at this point doesn't matter because Ifrit's going to regenerate. There he goes. He regenerated. Now, this is important. As a breaker, you need to definitely call out the tempo and what you plan on doing, okay? And what I'm telling the party here is I have a full bar. I'm waiting on you to do abilities. I'm saying I'm going to go last so that you can do your abilities to break down the orange bar. Okay, that's what I'm telling the party right now. I also go ahead and choose to drive my fire orbs so that way I can cultivate more water orbs and be a little bit more efficient. I also need hard orbs for my my water shift that I have, my ice shift. Now, here I choose to use just the 3 actions because there's 2 reasons for that. One, the knight is already using a bunch of attacks, so if I go full attack, we're just going to overdraw orbs. It's not going to be any benefit to the party. Okay. The second reason is all I need to do is put in a couple of attacks at first just to get the red bar within range, so that I can do 6 attacks to it next turn and put him into a break. So we go ahead and prosecute this turn. The black mage uses the minimum amount of actions to be able to get the orange bar down. The white mage puts up drives, and then he's looking for more hard orbs. And this is where I get my hard orbs and kind of put the boss within range to be broken, okay? So 6 attacks from a 2/3 standpoint should break, and if you get a critical, you could probably break from full, depending on how many criticals you get. But you don't want to rely on that, okay? So I go ahead and do. So this is where I kind of make a mistake, okay? And I'm supposed to do 6 attacks here, but I'm trying to judge the bar and where I think I can break him, and I'm guesstimating that I can do it in 5 attacks. And if I can do it in 5 attacks and then do a Bayako on the end, then I can help kill the boss that much faster. That's kind of my line of thinking, and it kind of messes up a little bit. Luckily, the Black Mage is patient and he wants to go last in this scenario. So what ends up happening is the White Mage does an attack and the Knight does his attacks, and it ends up breaking the boss for me. So I got a little bit fortunate here. This was an error on my part, and if I had it back, then I'd definitely do all 6 attacks. Alright, so going into this next turn, this is our break phase. Now, what you're going to notice is I have Ice Shift available, but I only have 3 actions, so I'm going to do Ice Shift and then 2 Byakos. And then the Black Mage is going to have a full round of attacks going into this. Actually, I'm sorry, the Black Mage ends up killing the boss within the first round of turns because he had pretty much a full gauge ready to go. So that's pretty much the line of thinking here. You break the boss, and then the Black Mage finished him off pretty quickly. He got a couple of lucky crits in there. I'm going to go ahead and replay that so you can see it again. So again, from turn 1, I started planning ahead. And because I had those 6 actions available right when the turn after the orange bar was depleted, I had those 6 actions ready, and we were able to break the boss right away and then kill it. And because of that, excuse me, because of that, that fight ended very quickly. So that's kind of some advanced strategy, guys. Some things that you should think about when going into this fight. Just because you play a support role does not mean that that's all you're doing, okay? And just because you play a defender role does not mean that all your main purpose is just to drive orbs all the time. The attacks that come off of the White Mage and the defender matter. They matter a lot. And if you have spare actions as a support or a defender, use them on normal attacks to help the party, okay? It's going to help the Black Mage tremendously to be able to stock up on orbs, and it's going to help the Breaker in his ability to break the boss down. And it's going to make the fight go so much faster and give you so much more tempo. That's pretty much all I have for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. I will see you guys next video, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. Thank you.